Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are absolutely shattering your digital fantasies. You know how you effortlessly point and click in your favorite video games? Well, we're taking those virtual weapons and throwing them headfirst into the brutal, bone-rattling reality of physical ballistics. If you've ever thought that handling a high-powered firearm is as easy as moving a mouse, trust me, you are in for a massive shock.
Let's quickly look at the game plan. We've got 4 sections today. First, assault rifles. Second, marksman rifles. Third, we dive into special weapons. And fourth, we'll wrap things up with the heavy hitters.
All right, Section 1, Assault Rifles and the Recoil Reality. Let's get right into it. We are kicking things off with 2 absolute fan favorites, the Beryl M762 and the ultra-rare OTS-14 Groza. Let's talk about the barrel first. In-game, right, you just pull your mouse down a bit to control that high-damage spray at close range, no big deal. But man, the reality of firing this modern Polish rifle, completely different story. This thing spits out heavy 7.62 by 39mm rounds. You might think your digital character is some unstoppable tank, but think about the sheer physical force an actual infantryman has to deal with here. A trained soldier literally cannot dump a full 30-round mag on full auto without completely losing control of the gun. It is violently uncontrollable. The kinetic energy just wildly throws the barrel right off target. Now, let's look at the Groza. The game actually gets the ammo totally wrong here just to make things convenient for you, claiming it uses standard 7.62 ammo. In reality, the Groza is a compact Russian bullpup, which means the magazine actually sits behind the trigger, and it fires this massive, incredibly heavy 9x39mm subsonic cartridge. The physics of this bullet are just wild. It's a 250-grain hunk of lead that actually travels below the speed of sound. Now, because it's subsonic, you don't get that loud supersonic crack when it's fired, giving you extreme stealth. But since the bullet is so heavy, it carries relentless momentum, easily punching right through standard body armor.
Put yourself in the infantryman's boots for a second, and imagine the sheer impact of this thing. It pierces armor, yeah, but it also creates massive blunt force trauma and these incredibly wide wound channels. Getting hit at close range is absolutely devastating. We're not talking about a health bar ticking down, we're talking about catastrophic physical trauma. Okay, moving on to Section 2, Marksman Rifles. Fiction versus physics. Here, we're looking at 2 vastly different guns that games constantly lump together, the lightweight Mini 14 and the heavy-hitting MK14 Enhanced Battle Rifle. Starting with the Mini 14, games treat this thing like a top-tier, rapid-fire military sniper. But honestly, in the real world, it's mostly a civilian law enforcement or ranch rifle. It fires a much lighter 5.56mm round, which means it completely lacks the kinetic energy to reliably defeat modern level 4 heavy body armor at a distance. Is it fast? Yes. An armor-piercing military sniper? Definitely not. Then, on the total opposite end of the spectrum, you have the M14 EBR. In the game, it's a full auto beast you grab from a crate to just melt enemies. In reality, it's a modernized tactical version of the M14 firing a massive 7.62 NATO round. The kinetic energy this bullet delivers is insane. It shatters cover and causes severe hydrostatic shock to the human body. But here's a massive reality check for gamers. You know how you just hold down the trigger? Well, because of the brutal, bone-jarring recoil of that 7.62 NATO round, firing this battle rifle on full auto from the shoulder is practically impossible for a human being to control. It's basically useless in a real fight unless you're firing in semi-auto mode. Section 3, Special Weapons, Stealth and Speed. Let's see what we've got. We are taking a look at 2 of the most bizarre and unique firearms ever made, the ultra-stealthy Russian VSS Vintorez and the futuristic Belgian FNP90. The VSS Vintorez is actually pretty fascinating because the game gets the ballistics perfectly right. It uses heavy, slow, subsonic ammo, so the bullet literally drops like a rock after about 200 meters. But get this, the real-world gun is so terrifyingly quiet that the mechanical clicking of the gun's internal action cycling is actually louder than the gunshot itself. And then there's the FN90. Games give you a 50-round mag and 0 recoil, right? Believe it or not, that is surprisingly accurate to real life. This Belgian personal defense weapon manages this because of a very weird top-mounted horizontal magazine paired with a highly specialized proprietary type of ammo.
Check this out. The P90 fires a tiny 5.7mm round that acts like a miniature rifle cartridge. It's specifically designed to slice right through Kevlar soft armor that would normally stop standard 9mm pistol rounds. But because the bullet is so incredibly light and fast, there is practically zero felt recoil on the shooter's shoulder, letting you fire laser-accurate bursts on full auto.
Finally, Section 4, Heavy Hitters, Chaos and Consequences.
Here we are face to face with two absolute monsters of the battlefield, the M249 squad automatic weapon and the legendary Desert Eagle. Let's talk about the M249 SAW. Gamers love using this to sprint around like action heroes and wipe out whole squads with perfect accuracy. But a real grunt on the ground, they use the M249 for suppressive fire. Its whole job is simply to throw a terrifying, deafening wall of lead downrange to pin the enemy in place so allied troops can move up safely. And there are severe consequences to all that firepower. If you literally just hold the trigger down forever like you do on a keyboard, the extreme friction and explosive heat will actually melt the steel barrel into useless, glowing slag. That's exactly why the real weapon has a quick-change barrel system. Gunners have to physically swap out red-hot metal right in the middle of combat. We're wrapping up this deep dive with the Desert Eagle. Sure, it easily shatters level 3 helmets in your favorite game, but the reality? This gas-operated hand cannon weighs over 4.4 pounds. That's more than 2 kilos, completely unloaded. It is so ridiculously heavy and bulky that no actual soldier or police officer would ever practically carry it into a firefight. It's basically just a Hollywood prop. On top of that, the physics of firing it are incredibly punishing. If you don't brace this thing perfectly, a mistake known as limp wristing will cause the gun to instantly jam. And worse, the sheer kinetic violence of the recoil is so severe it can literally dislocate or seriously injure the wrists of an inexperienced shooter. So what's the big takeaway from this explainer? Hopefully, it's a deeply grounded respect for the real-life infantryman. You can click a mouse to wipe out a squad without even breaking a sweat, but the physical toll of real-world weaponry is absolutely brutal. So next time you pick up a digital gun, ask yourself, could your body actually survive the bone-crushing, ear-shattering reality of pulling that trigger in the real world? Keep questioning the physics behind the screen.